Myles was born in March of 2017, and everything seemed normal when he was born. And then we went for his 1-month well check, and they sent him to Children's Hospital for some liver concerns. So he ended up being diagnosed with alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency shortly after 1 month, because he had high bilirubin levels, and he was just like really lethargic and sleepy most of the time. And then at our first visit to ophthalmology, we were told that Myles was blind and that it was unclear whether or not that he had any light perception. And we started kind of noticing that he was starting to develop some visual skills, and they kind of developed like on his left side first and then his right side. So then at our next ophthalmology appointment, we got the diagnosis of delayed visual maturation. His first birthday came and went, and his vision still wasn't typical. And delayed visual maturation typically resolves itself by a year. So then, like, we weren't really expecting like a magical cure, by his first birthday to all of a sudden be like, oh, it's great. But we were expecting a little bit more improvement because he was still struggling with his vision daily. He had a fall down the stairs when he was like 18 months old and broke his arm. So we continued with VIPS, and then we also started with first steps. So we had occupational therapy and speech that got added in as well. And then his second birthday came and went, and he was still having inconsistencies with his vision and struggling with that on a daily basis. So then when he was like 2.5, like right at 2.5 years old, we kind of asked at our next appointment if there was maybe a different diagnosis that we could start looking into. So we got referred to the CVI clinic at Children's, and he got an official diagnosis when he was 2.5. After his diagnosis of CVI, we kind of changed the way that we played at home. I know we focused more on playing games that describe salient features. So we have a game, like a guess who game, but you put a character on your face and then everybody has to guess who it is. So we spend a lot of time talking about different features of objects or people or animals, and we like to play Spot It a lot, just so we can kind of help increase his ability to recognize objects within a complex image. And then when we go places, when we go on hikes or do different activities outside, he always asks to take his binocular with him. He calls it his ocular. So he'll ask to take his binocular with him, and I think he uses it just to kind of decrease all the background clutter. I don't think he necessarily needs it for acuity reasons, but it just kind of helps him hone in on one object when he can get all the rest of that visual background out of the way. Before his CVI diagnosis, I guess I was unaware of his specific needs, especially from going from oh, he doesn't have any vision at all to oh, it's just delayed. So when we had the diagnosis of delayed visual maturation, in my head I thought oh, acuity is the only problem that he's having, so things will just have to be larger or close up or things like that. But then after learning that he had CVI and learning about all the CVI characteristics, now I realize that his needs are much more complex. We are more aware now of what can help him. We have actual strategies that can help him, having high contrast or having things move or things that are backlit or shiny. All of those things have just helped us have a better understanding of his needs. So we feel we can be a better advocate for him, with his teachers and in school or just anywhere that he goes.